welcome back to Our Unapologetic Era, where we are completely unhinged today.
That was the fastest. I didn't even hear him count down to 3. So I'm
We're going to be really honest with you. We have no plan for today.
no.
And that's both of our faults. I literally went from doing notes and a whole podcast breakdown to this week being like, I barely have a bra on.
I sent you ideas yesterday.
You did. That didn't mean it sparked any sort of like creative genius.
Some no juices flowing.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
But I think I think we'll end up with the same. It's about friendships and relationships, and
I will say this, I really like this setup so much more, but I do feel like I should be like throwing like a ball and there should be a monkey in the middle.
why?
Because there's I like this. This is nice, but we're so far away from each other yet so close.
It's fine. I don't care. Just put me anywhere. I can sit.
I've given up looking cute to do this, by the way.
Do you realize how many? Nobody realized. Like, you gotta come up with like 4 or 6 outfits.
Not only do
a
I have to
month.
come up with a different outfit for all of them, they're outfits that have to not be too busy, are the right colors for my face, and not show fat rolls, not be too booby. The list goes on and on.
I don't think it really matters what you wear because everybody calls you a whore anyway, unintentionally. and
Yes,
it's
they
just so
do.
freaking wrong.
They do. Man, I tell
Like,
you
you're
what,
completely covered.
of course I am, but my shirt does say, nothing rides nothing rides like a cougar, and it is my favorite t-shirt.
I didn't even know that's what it said.
And it's true. Nothing does ride like a cougar.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, in all this process, and of course, you get thousands upon messages compared to my, like, 10. But,
Wait, and your 10 are women who are supportive of you.
yeah, mine are 100% of supportive. Men and women. It doesn't freaking matter. Like, they're all like, oh my God, yes, and blah, blah, blah. I'm so glad I found you guys, and you get,
Pig.
you fucking whore, you need to delete this immediately.
I get pig a lot, which I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to take that. Cause see, I was married to a cop, so I immediately think pig, like cop
There you go,
pig.
pig.
But I don't know if they're calling me fat or if they're calling me sloppy. Like, I don't know what it is that the pig means. But sometimes I just talk to my chat GPT and I'll copy and paste a comment and I'll go, what did they really mean by this? And then she'll go, it wasn't very nice of them.
So you need AI now to generate to
Because
understand.
sometimes I'm not sure, like, am I overreacting? Like internally. I'm not going to overreact
No.
outwards. But internally, am I overreacting?
I don't think so.
But, I
It's
mean,
very aggressive verbiage on a lot of parts, and I wish maybe that's why we should have prepared for to show some of these messages that you get that are just fucking insane. Like,
I mean, anybody, they're public. Well, that's not true, actually, because Facebook will automatically hide some comments
Mhm.
that have, like, certain trigger words and stuff.
right, that are
And
bullying basically.
I
or-
see them, like, they come to me,
Yeah.
but they say they're hidden, like, y'all can never see them. And so there's multiple comments, and I'll leave them hidden instead of deleting them because I'm still not sure how to work the algorithm. But I don't know. I mean, like, they're pretty nasty. But then I go look at the people who are posting them, and I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, does it ever make a lot of sense? I'll go look at these people that are posting, and they're on Facebook, and they have 6 friends.
Well, they also
And
are,
none of the pictures are except them of all selfies, and there's like 100 of them.
It's never women.
No.
And I would think it would be women who would be more aggravated with me. Because, I don't know, it makes
No.
more sense to me.
I disagree with that only because of the comments that I get, and that they're appreciative of us literally saying what's on their mind.
Yeah. And in
So-
real life, that's what women tell me.
Yeah.
In real life, women come to me all the time. They're like, I'm so glad you said that. I would never say it, but I'm glad you said it.
Yeah.
But they're not going to comment it. They don't want to be outed for whatever reason.
But I think these men that you're internalizing aren't even worth the value of even reading a comment from.
No, and they never respond to my response. So I think they really are truly just trolls, and that's fine. I don't understand how that works or why people do that. But yeah, it's interesting.
I can't even keep up. You notice I jump in every once in a while with some like comments. And
Oh, the
then
guy that you responded to,
Chad.
Yeah, he's like my new best number one fan now. No, his name was Clay, by the way.
Oh, I thought it
His
was.
name was Clay, but like he like and he yeah knew not like he's like I just really he's like I can't believe that other thing. He's like I had to block them. It was our podcast he blocked, but
You mean he blocked my comment? Because
he blocked the account. He blocked our podcast account.
I called him out.
Yeah, but I didn't say I didn't want to be like that's literally my other half. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, I had to like.
But now this is what's gonna happen though because
I
he
put him in
keeps
timeout.
yeah he keeps commenting and now it's getting and he keeps like DMing. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna have to say I'm not interested in you, and then he's gonna spiral back around to I hate you.
I can't believe I got blocked from him. That's fucking awesome.
I got blocked on Facebook one day last week. Had nothing to do with this. It had to do with music, but I was like, sweet, because I never said anything rude. I never was demeaning. He called me a little girl. He called me all kinds of stuff, and yeah, it did. Yeah, it got around town too. But yeah, it got around town. But anyway, I got blocked, and I had never been blocked
It's
before.
like we live in a state capital, but we live in the smallest town you can ever imagine in the biggest one of the biggest cities in the state.
I got phone calls, and I mean, thankfully, the phone calls I got were not like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" But
messages
I didn't do any. I literally didn't do anything wrong. This dude was way like not. He was way triggered by me.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. That dude.
Yeah.
He's a loser. Just tell by his profile history, he's a loser. Past job
Yeah.
history, he's a fucking loser.
It trickled into other small town drama too, but whatever. Gotta love it.
So what are you getting out of curiosity? Because I'm gonna wrap this back around to something. But in support of the podcast, what is your feedback from friends and family of what we're doing?
Oh.
Because I really, because we haven't talked about this, and I haven't told you what I'm getting, and so I was just curious.
I think
what's happening.
I think my mom is trying very hard to be supportive, but is like dying. And then my dad
Of a dying of like
embarrassment.
Okay.
Yeah, and my dad is just over it. He's like, you need to like stop. You need to stop.
What is your daddy watching? Daddy.
Well, okay, so the last episode we dropped, I literally said like this is not parents approved, and I was dead serious. Like it's
titty fuck.
It's not, well, I'm not. The titty fuck was not the problem. It was more like head down, ass up that was the problem, in my opinion. But
sure, you're.
oh Lord, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. My friends love it. You know, it's interesting you ask this, and I want to know how it's working for you too, because for me, it's turned into more of like a, who the fuck does she think she is? From some people, which I'm kind of used to. And this is part of the unapologetic part because
I mean, it's in the whole fucking title.
I know. So this is part of the unapologetic part because I have gotten to a point in my life, not where I'm like, fuck y'all, I don't care what you think, I'm going to be a bad girl. No, it's, I really don't care what you think. I really don't. And this is my experience, and this is what's happened to me, and this is my honest truths, and I want to talk about it. And the best way for me to deal with it is to talk about it in a setting like this,
Right.
where I'm not controlled and like I'm not controlled. I can say really truly how I feel and how it's affected me. So I mean, if you don't like it, just don't watch it. And look, a lot of people don't. So, you know, it ain't a big deal.
My therapist says that she's proud of me. She's like, "This is good for you."
Oh, it's definitely good for me for sure. And interestingly, the universe has spoken.
Ooh.
Yeah, the universe has spoken because since you and I have started talking about these things,
Uh-oh.
a lot of other things have crumbled and fell that thought it was a fortress.
Huh?
A lot of the things that I've talked about.
I mean, crumbled and felled. I'm so confused.
I'm talking about, why can't I find my words right this second? I don't know. I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to find
How many times in this whole entire process have I told you, I was like, and not to get really, but you know, like, God is leading us in a different direction than we ever anticipated. And I don't know if this is correlating to what you're saying, but he is like taken us on a road to the path we're supposed to be on versus the path we were staying on. And I keep telling you this, that good shit's coming.
Yes,
And I
I
hate to
agree.
like, good things are happening and the devil's going to push against you as you're going through this process and going to make it as hard as fucking can for you because you're not supposed to be on the other end.
And yes, and the weird thing about what you're saying is, there has been a lot of kickback in, like, just life kickback, that things have been hard, but I feel more at peace and more, confident in who I am and the direction I'm going than I ever have before.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of, like, okay, so I never planned on having a podcast. Let's just say that. Like, you literally called me one day and you said, "Hey, do you wanna do a podcast?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?"
Oh, I didn't even know. I told you I don't even know. I didn't even fathom of what the hell we were getting
No,
into.
and I just
And I
said I
was
just said,
completely
"What
blind.
day and what time?" And you said you told me, and I just thankfully put makeup on that morning because I didn't even realize we were filming. My hair was dirty. I don't think I had this shirt on. But I
No.
no, no, no. But I didn't think about it is my point. And so yeah, like, but I did have, like, when going through my experience that I went through in, like, 2014, 2015, which was crazy. A lot of people, family especially, were like, "You should write a book." First of all, I'm not a book writer.
You get a ghostwriter. It's fine.
Well, but it's just not my thing. Like, I don't like, go ahead and beat me up for saying this, but I don't like to read. And I probably need therapy for that, but I don't like to read. And so why would I want to write a book? So I always just like, that's funny. That's funny. Okay. This is it. This is my book.
It's Audible.
This is my book.
Yeah.
The only thing that stinks about this being my book versus a real book is that it's not perfectly, like, all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed, and I'm not being able to, like, make it absolutely perfect before it's out to the world. Y'all are seeing it literally, like,
Play out minute by
yeah,
minute.
yeah.
It's like, that's
So
because we never have a plan. Let's be honest.
we try.
We try every once in a while. About every 10 episodes. No, I'm just not that.
We try. I mean, y'all, I had, like, detailed, outlined notes and everything.
You know what I wish, like, giving my perspective of what the feedback I'm getting too. I mean, coming from a very conservative family per se,
Mhm.
but I mean, we still, there's other things that outlined, but conservative of where women should lie and
Sorry.
what women should be was a very strict guideline to follow growing up in the Mormon church.
Yeah.
So this is completely out of the norm and this is not normal. So I think, not that they've said this, but I can read little indications of, like, the mate marker. What's the high? Oh, shit, I can't.
I don't know what you're referring to specifically, like, word wise, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, the
And
matriarchy of the like, per
yes,
se,
yes, yes.
of the higher be of generations above
See,
me.
mine just says you're a mother.
And I don't get, because I've always came from a very extreme supportive family. Like, I've never gotten deterred from what I want to do.
Mhm.
It's maybe that's where my ignorance and really strange high confidence comes from, is because I was always told you can do whatever you want to do and it doesn't matter what anybody says. And so,
It's true.
yeah, and so I think that's the difference of, they're, I wouldn't say they're supporting me, but they're not supporting me. Like,
Yeah,
they're sitting
I'm
back
getting the same
watching.
thing.
They're getting, but you get a lot more intense verbiage than I do. Like, I just get oh, I watched this episode and I'm like, that was a
I'll
bad
get text
episode for
messages
men
every
to
now and
watch.
again. I'll get text messages every now and again, and it's like with their opinion or a suggestion, and I'm like, it's already out there, so it is what it is. But I agree, and I didn't even think about what you were saying until you said it, and I do get the you're a mother thing, which is, I guess, some sort of, like, maybe guilt way of saying, like, you should stop. But also, it's not just, it started before the podcast for me. And I don't think that's why I correlated it as, like, right off the bat.
Mhm.
But me working in music and me traveling and spending time in Nashville, I don't, they're tolerating it. My friends and family are tolerating it. And I know what,
Like a
like,
midlife crisis.
yes, they think I'm midlife crisis. Yes. They also don't understand what I do, which is, that's understandable. They don't understand because unless you're in it and you're a part of it, it doesn't make sense from the outside. It really doesn't.
And I think that's what, like, for me, living that life inside of it when we were younger in
Mhm.
my 20s, I have a little more understanding and more grace to be able to give you, because I lived it firsthand
No one could
being
have ever told me that being on the business side of the entertainment industry would be a lot like the creative side. So the creatives decide, they make a decision as an artist. They're like, I'm going to be a musician, or I'm going to be a singer, or whatever. And you're jumping in the deep end of something, and it's like, either going to swim or I'm going to drown. But in the
I think that's why you
meantime,
should do it.
I might starve.
Yeah.
So I would have never thought it's the same way on the business side of things, but it is. I jumped in the deep end and I'm swimming. I might starve, but I'm swimming, and that's hard to explain to friends and family who have worked a 9 to 5 their entire lives, worked their butts off their entire lives, and are, doing the traditional thing.
But why can't you have both? I feel like
I completely,
because
that's what I
I
decided.
still can hold a 9 to 5 and I'm still sitting here with you and
Mhm.
I'm still able to do what I want to do. So
No, you absolutely
what's the
can.
problem?
No, you absolutely, well, right now I don't have a 9 to 5, but that doesn't mean that I don't want one or I'm saying no to one. It's finding what fits to be able to do both.
Right.
And so that's hard. And again, hard to explain to someone on the outside looking in going, you just need to start acting your age.
And I think that's the difference between you and I too is that you come from a very traditional 9 to 5 family. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and it's a very different perspective
Completely different.
of. I mean, I have family that went to college and did education and took that traditional route too, but they don't have 9 to 5s either.
Yeah.
And I never really fell into that category either, graduating college. But I think that's a big difference too. Is understanding is I came from not that your family wasn't dreamers, but mine was a very different
No,
perspective
it's a
of
different mindset.
yeah.
And you have to live it to really get it. And I can absolutely thank my first husband for this. If it wasn't for him and the life that we lived together and the what we built together, whether he's a complete and total you know what or not, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation with you right now. I would have fallen right into what my parents told me to do. I would have, because I was a good girl who wanted to please people. And so that's what I would have done, and I wouldn't have a great story to tell.
But you would have been miserable.
Yes.
You
So
would
I
have.
tried when I got divorced. I went to school for medical aesthetics, and I tried to do like a very traditional career,
Mhm.
even though some people still think that medical aesthetics is not too traditional. But I was in a doctor's office working 8 to 5 every day. Got an hour for lunch.
It was crazy.
My soul was literally being sucked out of me
Mhm.
every day.
Right.
I wasn't able to pick my kids up from school. They had to go to aftercare, which they resented me for. And I couldn't have lived on my own with that money. At that time, I was in a relationship where we were living together, so we were sharing bills. But even with that job, I would not have been able to cover the expenses to raise my 2 children on my own. So, how is a woman supposed to, like, why would I sell my soul to the man? Like, I'd rather starve. I'd rather starve in the deep end. Now, I am a mother, so I do have to keep that in mind, and it is always in the back of my mind. But as a human being, as Leah, I'd rather starve in the deep end than sell my soul to the man and me still be trying to get by week, which is what I was doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do believe we can have both for sure, without a doubt. And I'm tired of the chatter. Of course I am, but it ain't going to stop. And all we can do is keep trucking along and doing what we know is best. And I know we're on the right path. And like I was saying earlier about the universe, that the universe spoke, things are happening on both of our sides and the behind the scenes that are not. They're not connected to us. Like
Oh, are they ever?
we had nothing to do with that ball getting rolling.
Right.
And that's just more validation that this is our time. And when I say this is our time, I don't mean this is our time to be somebody special. It's our time to be ourselves.
Mhm.
Truthfully stand in ourselves.
God, you can't be more. I mean, like, no one sees what happens behind closed doors per se for either one of us. You
Yeah.
just hear what verbally we talk about. And I talked about one of the last couple episodes. Like, I am at a complete and total crossroads
Crossroads.
right now. And I don't, like I said, one's literally jumping off a cliff into a waterfall, and one's like this straight and curvy, nice path. And what do you pick? And are you willing to get out of your comfort zone and probably drowned initially, but at the end, I'm going to come up.
Yeah. I will say I'm absolutely a jump off the cliff type person. There are people in and around my life that want to hold my hand. And
They
I
also want to push your head under.
I am like, just let me fall. Like, let me fall. Because I'm the only person that can, like, make it better. You can't make it better for me.
Right.
Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yeah.
But it's hard, it's hard to explain that to people who love you and care about you and don't understand what you're doing. So,
I did it.
they also don't understand what I've been through. Can I also say that too?
No, they never lived it. I said that to someone this morning. Like, you're not going to be able to grasp this. And it
Mm-mm.
doesn't matter how many conversations I have with you, till you've lived it, and I can tell you a million stories, you're never going to get it. And
Yeah.
they don't give you the grace
Mm-mm.
at all because they don't live it and they don't grasp it and they don't understand.
I've been so thankful for people in my past that I've told my story to, and they have said, if you didn't actually show me some physical evidence, I would just assume that you made all of that up.
Right.
And I'm actually thankful for those people because not only did they speak what they really thought, and I appreciate that, it reminded me, like, you're not crazy for thinking they think you're crazy. It's a real thing. It really doesn't sound fathomable. Is that the right word? Anyway, that it could possibly be true or whatever else. Uh, I can't believe that 11 years later, I'm still sitting here talking about how much this has affected my life. And I do think being a mother is a huge reason why that is.
And you
But
don't
oof,
and I've going through therapy and literally get to the point of asking her, I was like, does this ever get better? Because I've come out on the other end. But here's going back like to the podcast too, and you know, thinking the one, and I've this all played out in the past week, but the one person that I thought was going to be there and support me, let's talk about outside of you,
it's okay.
is the one person that can't understand what I'm doing. And they are like, why are you doing this? Why are you putting everything out there? Why, like, they can't understand. And that goes back to because they never fucking experienced anything outside of their little bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally live in a bubble
Mm-hmm.
their whole entire life, and everything was magical and rainbows and butterflies, and there was never any hardship and there's never any conflict for them, and they can't grasp why are you saying that? It makes you look
Crazy.
crazy.
Yes. Yes, yes, and more yes. And the way that I've handled this over the years is I have my thing that I say, I'm like, it's a blessing that you haven't had to experience this. But I've also just said they're never gonna understand.
Mm-mm.
And so I just have to it's one of those things where you just smile and you nod and you move on. And you find your people who do get it. And one thing that I appreciate about our friendship is that I don't really have to say a lot. Like, you just know that I understand and I get it, and that's enough. Does that, like,
Yeah.
I don't need you to say a lot. Like, I don't need you to be like, "I'll be at your house in 5 minutes and we can cry together." Like, I don't need that. It's just I can send you a literal text like I did the other day. Like, I can send you a literal text that goes, "This just happened." And you go, "Pfft." And that's it. Like, that's it. Like, instead of it being like, "Well, what did you do? Why'd that happen? I mean, how did you handle it? What did you tell them?" Like, I don't need all of that because trust me, I've done it all in my head already.
Oh, and I know that, like, me too,
Mhm.
it's like, you're like, "Well, that sucks."
Yeah.
That's usually my response to you, I'm like, "Well, that yeah," and then I'll ask you questions and I'm like, Wait a second. I need more information," but it's usually, like, juicy gossip because I have no life.
Yeah, it doesn't pertain to the crap.
Yeah, yeah. Usually I need more information just because I have no life and I need some stimulation for the day. But when you said you're like, I say I'm beyond stressed. I can't think right now. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, I texted you yesterday and I said, "I'm so overwhelmed that I did. Yesterday I wasted yesterday. I was not productive yesterday and I should have been. But I sat still, probably looked scrolling on my phone way too much. But in my head going, what are you going to do? What are you gonna how are you going to do that?"
Well, and that's when I got my crazy response. I'm like, is this a stressed I'm going by a gun, or is this a stress I just need to breathe for a minute and
Well,
process?
I wish I could breathe.
I know. But it's like sometimes as a friend, you just got to be like, okay, what level of stress are we at? Like, what? Give me a ranking, and then I can know.
Also, I am definitely PMSing. Definitely, without a doubt.
Oh, I have a friend that called me out on that yesterday. He was like, "This isn't what you were 2 weeks ago,"
Oh,
and
no.
I'm like, no." But he's smart enough to know and understand a woman in there, and he's still, I mean, he's close to 40, but he's like, I get it.
My
There was
my
no need
my
to
15-year-old
explain.
now is figuring it out.
Thank fucking God.
Because he doesn't say like you're PMSing, but he'll be like, yeah, I know you have hormonal fluctuation.
Well, what's the different phases? The one that starts with an L? Like, what's
Huh?
the Luther, whatever phase? You know, like they have different names now or whatever. And so my son, who also our sons are born really close together in
Mhm.
age, looked at me. He's like, "Are you in this phase?" He's like, "What do I do if a girl's in that phase?" And like he's asking me, like trying to figure. I'm like, "Who are you talking to? Because you're a total introvert who don't socialize with anyone. Like, what woman?
What TikToks have you on down?
What woman is sending you in this tough spiral?" And he's like, "Never mind."
It really is interesting too, and I don't know if this is something that doctors have talked about for years, and like just us normal people are starting to talk about it because of the reach of the internet. But the idea that men and women have different cycles, theirs is an everyday hormonal cycle, and ours is a 28-day cycle. That's really a big deal that we don't really acknowledge often.
Well, you know what I laugh about is like my husband was like, "You're so like angry and raging." I'm like, "Yeah, this is a point of my cycle that my testosterone's high, so I'm just a fucking man."
Well, you know what that means. If that's the point where your testosterone's high, that's whenever he should be bending you over.
He doesn't get it. He doesn't
As
fucking
soon
get
as he
it.
sees that rage come up, he should be like, "Bitch, turn over."
He doesn't understand that there's makeup sex and that there's rage sex and that there's different levels that a woman you can fulfill if you just shut your fucking mouth and put your dick in it.
I do like drunk sex.
Sorry,
Though.
that was
And I love how I'm like, I just ignored what she said and said, I like drunk sex. But to me, like, I know that sounds terrible because it's going to make me sound like a lush, but I like drunk sex because then I'm not, you say it, you think too much during sex, which, yeah, I think too much in general.
Oh, I call you out. Yeah,
Yeah.
you do. Yeah.
But when I'm drunk, I don't.
You're
So,
like, "Woo."
yeah. Ashley, it's Monday morning. How many mimosas have you had?
Not enough. I need a
We
superior.
should have done
I
mimosas.
need a
this
margarita
morning.
and a shot of 1800 coconut. Anybody that knows me.
Ooh, I do like a
Ugh,
coconut tequila.
1800
You can
coconut.
drink it right out the bottle.
Oh, don't need any, like, oh, just skip. Let's go to Superior after this.
I can't. I gotta start a diet.
No, tequila burns calories. You haven't heard that shit?
Yeah, tequila and water is the best way to go.
Yeah.
I don't. It's because of whatever it's made out of.
That's
Whatever.
put me on the bar and dancing, and then there's all my calories burned, and we're good to go.
I don't know what our point of this episode was,
We
but
don't have one.
but I
It's
will.
just-
I will say that I'm old, and I still feel like I am 18 effing years old, fighting for my life. Like when does that
Shit.
stop?
It's like, do you ever? I'm so disappointed in that the females of our lives didn't tell us that this is what life turns into, because
Because it wasn't their life.
No, but they did experience shit.
Oh, I'm not sure the ones in
Okay,
mine.
not your fan, but mine experienced divorce, experienced abuse, experienced this. I think that's why they give me as much grace as they do, because they lived it.
Mhm.
But it's like, why didn't you tell me my body's gonna feel like this? Why didn't you tell me I was going to rage? Why didn't you tell me perimenopause fucking sucks?
See, even my mom, because she had a full hysterectomy. Yeah, she was full. She had a hysterectomy whenever I was young and my brother was little. So
Oh, that's why you only had. I never. Knew that.
So she really hasn't had the same experiences as your typical woman. She still has hormones. Like she doesn't have to take hormones or anything.
Right.
But it wasn't the same. So like she stopped having a period and those things. So I understand. I get that. Like I understand that she wasn't like, this is what I'm going through right now. But I also think that she didn't understand the things that she was going through.
Because no one told her. Just like no one's telling.
She had sisters. Like where? Like what? Like I don't have a sister or sisters. Like why were they there? I don't know. I'll have to ask her this. But were they there for each other through these things? I'm not sure.
It was taboo and they couldn't.
I think that was more of the thing. Like especially since they all like none of them divorced. My aunt who's passed away did divorce, but much later in life. So they were all with the same person for a long time. And so I think that they really just thought these were things that they had to deal with. Yeah. Instead of it being something that was acceptable to say, this is how I feel, and it's not okay that I feel this overwhelmed.
Right. And I can tell you down to the day, like talking about a cycle and rage, I have a 3-day period, and I can tell, and I have this 3-day period. I know it's going to happen, and then a week period. I know this is going to happen, and I am emotionally aware of what's coming, and you can tell instantly, like, oh shit, tomorrow's going to be a fucking shit show, and you can feel it.
I told you every other month, I have like a normal period cycle where I feel very little fluctuation, and then the next month is like a rager.
Yeah.
I'm on rager month. But it sucks the rager month because I almost feel like I don't have complete control over it.
Yes, you can't.
It sucks
I
really
wanna
bad because like I'm sitting back in my head going, Leah, make it stop. And I'm like, but
can't.
I see red.
You can't. And
Yeah.
it's so fucked up. And I totally get where you're coming from. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate. And I started to wonder, or more, and I started thinking, I'm really playing this in my head. What is the divorce rate of women going through perimenopause?
It's pretty high. I've actually heard about this before. I've heard this talked about, especially since men truly don't understand it. And
Yes.
women now, they have this like spurts of like complete and total confidence and then spurts of just insanity.
Mhm.
Also, this is why middle-aged women are the worst drivers. But
No, you're
and
just a bad
and I
driver.
stand on that. But yeah, men are like, nah, I
Like,
ain't
what
dealing with
happened to
that
my
crap.
wife? What happened to my like spout? What happened? Like they look at you like you're lost your fucking
And
mind.
they're like, I'm the same. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, they don't get it.
And our bodies change. Our bodies change. Yes, I have a fupa.
That suck.
Yeah, and I remember the moment that it happened, and yeah, not cool. Not cool. I could never drink alcohol again, and I could go back to exercising twice a day every day, and I could never have cheese again. But why do I want to live that way?
Don't take away the cheese.
Because I'm still going to be crazy, and then I'm going to be hungry.
We're gonna end it there. We're good.
All right, peace out, homies.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you for following our unfiltered, unapologetic,
Unhinged.
unhinged life. Love you guys.
Subscribe.
All right.